double shot really gets me going. It's great. Like, it gets me wired up. And so we don't give our kids double shots. They get single shots. Hello and welcome to Pocanut Cove by Goswick Lane. This is your barista training, your rookie barista training. Being trained, you're the rookie and you're being trained by a rookie who's only made about 40 or 50 more espressos than you're gonna make. And when you stay here, this is a super fun thing to do, but there is quite a few things to walk through to make a good espresso, okay? I want you to stay at this property and be able to make a really good espresso. There's several things that tie into making a good drink. If you can pull a good shot and you can froth milk decently and you have the ingredients that you want for the drinks that you want, you can make a good drink, okay? So that's what I want to make sure, that you can make a good drink so that you enjoy it instead of doing what I had to do and make a bunch of them and mess up a bunch of times to get to that. So the first thing is ingredients. What we have here, and maybe if you want something else other than what we have here, then you'll need to bring it. So first of all, what we have here is obviously our espresso machine. We have a coffee grinder, and this coffee grinder you can grind for espressos, you can grind for pour overs, you can grind, and we have pour over the stuff here for that. You can grind for a percolator, and you can grind for regular coffee if you want. Over here are the flavors that we have, and this is what we'll typically have. Is we have vanilla, hazelnut, sugar-free butter toffee, caramel, and a sugar-free caramel. Those are the flavors that we're typically going to have here for you to make drinks with. And we are going to have whole beans for you. These are our whole beans right here. These come from a place right down the road. It's local, and they're actually really good price for a bag of beans right now. It's $10. Okay, and these are actually they're pretty good beans. I mean, they're not like the top of the line, but from what we've made, they're actually, like, I'd give them like an 8 out of 10. They're really good, especially for $10 for a whole bag. So that's what you're gonna need. You're gonna need to get some milk, okay? And the milk depends on you. Whole milk steams the best. When I say froth and steam, that's interchangeable terms. Whole milk steams the best. Okay, so that's what I prefer, but I know some people out there may not want whole milk. So you can steam any milk. What I'm saying is whole milk's the best as far as like flavor profile, fullness, how it steams, and how easy it is to steam, just because it has fat in it. But you can use whatever you want to. So here we go, getting started. And the training today is on the two specific machines that we have. We have a Breville coffee grinder here, and then we have a Gaggia Classic Pro espresso machine. If you've never operated one of these machines before, it's not just like turning on a button and coffee starts coming out. There is a process, and it's like being a mad scientist. So pause this video as we get going to make sure that you're making the best, or pulling the best shot that you can. Let me go over a few drinks real quick. The one I make the most is the latte. And a latte is basically 2 cups of milk and 1 cup of espresso. The way I make a latte is about 7 or 8 ounces of milk and a double shot. And then I put vanilla in mine, but you can put whatever you want. But if you can pull a good shot and steam good milk, and you have the other ingredients, you can make a lot of what's on this list right here. And this is gonna be on the wall right here for you to look at. So the first thing we're gonna do is talk about getting the machine going. Please be careful when you're operating this machine. There are a few things that you can do to mess it up, and we'll talk about those as we get going. So if you'll just follow my instructions to the T to pull your shot, you'll pull a good shot, you'll steam good milk, and you won't mess anything up. Here we go. So the first thing you're gonna do is turn this switch on right here. That lets you know that the machine is on. Then what we will know, when this is red, you're ready to pull a shot, okay? But we're not ready to pull a shot yet. We'll just turn red because I already had it heating up. Down here is your water level, okay? And so that's max. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take one of our pitchers here and go over to the sink. Fill this up. Take this little top lid off here and pour it in the little slot for water. And you can pour as much in there as you want as long as it doesn't go over that max. All right, we're right on it there. We're good. I'm just going to set this to the side. You'll notice when you come here that you should see some of these rags. Okay, these square gray or blue rags. These are specifically for the espresso machine. And you'll need these as you go. There's one tool that I forgot. This is your coffee, we'll just call it a coffee bucket. Your puck bucket. Okay, are we ready to get going? Let's see, your next step is to get your coffee grinds. If you're making an espresso, these are close to the settings that you're gonna want. 15.4 seconds, that's your grind time. We're gonna do 2 shots and a grind size of 12. If you'll look up here, it kind of tells you that's espresso. The grind size is like how thin or thick, how coarse or fine you're grinding your beans to. And then as you go over here, it kind of tells you, so you got a press. We don't have a press here, but a percolator, we do have a percolator, and a drip, and then espresso. So the finer it goes is more for espresso. Whole milk, there's one grocery store right down the road here. It's like a small Walmart, like a market store. Like 4 minutes from our house here. The coffee place is also like 3 or 4 minutes. There's not much here in Lone Star, Texas, but we do have coffee. We do have a small grocery store. It's kind of nice to get out of the city and just hang out at the house at the lake. Okay, here we go. The first thing you're gonna do is take this is called a portafilter. This is called a bottomless portafilter. Okay, this is what you put the coffee in. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna measure the weight of that first, because then we're going to measure the coffee that goes in it. So we're gonna hit our power button on our scale and then place the portafilter on the machine. Then we're gonna hit T, and that just clears it. It doesn't clear it out. It takes the weight of your filter and your group handle off of the machine. Now we're going to get our coffee. And to get our coffee, there's a little button back here that you hit once with the back of that, and you just let it sit there until it's done. So we're gonna do that. Try to hold it to where coffee doesn't go everywhere, because if you don't have it right, it will. All right, here's where the mad scientist comes in. Try not to spill any of this. This is kind of a pretentious process. It feels pretentious, okay? We're just gonna take the filter and tap it just to kind of eliminate any spillage. What we're looking for is 18 grams on a double shot. That's just what I found. I made a bunch that were 20. 18 seems to be the ticket, okay? All right, we're at 18.8. Now at this point, that grind time was 15.4 seconds, 2 shots, and with a 12 grind size. Gave us 18.8 grams. This coffee grinder is not perfect every time. It's going to spit out a little bit different. But there's a little spoon over here in the corner. If you want to get exact, and I do this, is I'll just start taking a little bit out at a time until we get down to right at 18. All right, so there we go. We got it. Now we're going to take that portafilter, tap it again, and then this tool right here, I just call it a spinner, and what it does is it levels out the top of the grind. So we're just going to put that on there and spin it. So it did a pretty good job of leveling it out. Okay, and then we're going to take our press, and you press down. There's a spring in here, you see, that gives you the right amount of pressure. So we're going to take that. You want to set it on a flat part here and press down. I'll just hold it for a second. I'm going to tap again because there's a little extra. There's also another method to this. If you want to use it, this thing can help you level out. If you're going to use this, I don't know what it's called a little poker deal. and you just work it around. This is basically, this is getting your coffee level to where when it's pressed, it'll be pressed down evenly, so that when the water flows through it, it flows through evenly. There's a lot of stuff that goes into pulling a good shot, and I've learned over time that these kind of things do matter when it comes to the flavor profile of your shot. And so you start out low. You would start out, you see how that's all the way at the bottom, and you work around, and then as you come around again, you lift up, and then as you come around again, you lift up. So this last circle here is at the very top. Okay. If you use that, then I would still go back. If you're a barista out there and I'm messing all this up, please put in the comments where we can get better. Because again, I've only made 40 or 50 of these. Spin it and then press it again. We just basically redid the process. All right, now we're going to take this little puck thing that goes on top, and this spreads the water out so it goes evenly over the, sometimes I have to press it down in there to get it level. All right, and then what we're going to do is put this into the machine. Now we know it's ready to go because the lights, that light's on means the machine's on. That light's on means that the water is hot enough to make your coffee or to pull your shot. We go ahead and put that in there, and you want to turn your group handle. This is a group handle. You want to turn it just a little bit to that side. Give it a little bit of force, but don't break it off in there. Now we're going to take this thing here is for catching water. We're going to take it out so that we can measure our shot. Here's another part. You're measuring stuff to make sure that you're accurate and you're getting the same thing every time. I've already figured it out for you, so just follow the recipe. And this again is for a double shot. Okay, so we're going to catch our water now, we're going to take one of these little glasses that's over in the corner and put it right here. Then we're going to put our weight, our scale here, and make sure that your scale is not touching the back or the glass, so it will pick up that weight. And then we're going to put a coffee cup on it. Now these aren't the greatest for making espressos, and we're looking into getting some more, but they will work for now. So I'm putting my coffee cup underneath where the coffee is going to come out. And then we're going to clear it out again by hitting the T button, because we want, what we're trying to get to is how much coffee or how much of the shot that we're pulling. And with 18 grams of coffee, we're looking for somewhere between 36 and 40 grams of coffee. That's a pretty wide range. So it gives you a little bit of room for error. But preferably like right at 38 would be great. 38 grams of coffee. This is your grams. So when that hits 37, you're gonna turn them. We're gonna walk through that in a second. As the machine gets going and the coffee starts coming out and that hits 37, you're just gonna flip. Before we get this started, there's a rhythm that goes through here that I want to talk about. So we're gonna take one of our pitchers. I like to use this black one as a bigger pitcher. Okay. The silver one, I like to froth the milk in. It seems to work a little bit better just because of the way you have to hold it. Okay, so we're looking for 38 grams of liquid coffee, the shot. And it's gonna take about 20 seconds or so, 20 to 25 seconds. All right, so the way that we're gonna make this here is when we turn this on, when we turn to pull the shot, this is your steamer handle. You're gonna turn that on for like 5 seconds, and what that does is it lets a little bit of steam out of the line. You don't want steam coming through your coffee. And then 5 seconds of the steamer on, turn it back off, and then let the coffee come out. And then when it hits 36, 37, 38 grams, you're gonna turn the machine off. And I'm gonna turn the timer on as soon as I turn the machine on. So it's getting close. 25, 20, 30, 32, 34, 36. All right, I waited a little bit too long, so maybe you want to turn it off at like 35. But it's still gonna pull a good shot, and it took about 20, 22 seconds total. Let's see what it looks like. That brownish color, that light brown on top is what you're looking for there. That's a good shot. Then we'll put it on top to keep it warm. This area on top of the machine stays warm, and so we put the coffee cups on there. And you can also warm your cups. Put them upside down up there before you make your coffee. Okay, now we're gonna take that out, take this out. You see how there's water in there? It just like the overflow comes out. Put that back in for now. All right, here's where this thing comes in. You're gonna take, now you gotta get your coffee out of there. You're gonna take that out, turn over and just tap it, and it'll come out. It should come out in a little puck, but that one didn't. And then this is hot, okay, so be careful. You can get this later. And then you're gonna get this, and then go rinse it out in the sink. If you're gonna pull another shot, make sure that's as dry as you can get it. For now, I'm just gonna lay this over here. Let it dry out. All right, so when we're getting ready to steam, we wanna go ahead and turn this button on. This starts heating up your steamer, getting ready to steam. I'm gonna steam in this, and inside this cup tells you how many ounces. I don't know if you can see that, but right there on the inside. So I'm making a latte. So I'm gonna pour 7 ounces of milk. Okay, 7 ounces. And then I'm making a vanilla latte. So these flavors over here, what I found, the way that I like it is a decent amount of vanilla. If you just like a touch of vanilla, do 1 full push down. If you're somewhere in the middle, 2 or 3. If you like it really sweet, do 4 for a full double shot espresso. So I'm gonna do 3. That's 1. And don't go too fast, it'll spill everywhere. 2, 3, okay? You're gonna steam that whole thing. All right, here's where I'm gonna refer you to another video about steaming milk. That's gonna be way better than this, but I'll walk through it real quick. I'll put a link down below in the description about like professional, like a really good training video on how to steam milk. But basically the idea is, and don't touch this because it gets really hot. Basically the idea is that you want to get the tip of this steamer just below the surface of the milk, and you want it to spin. So you're going to put that in there in a position so that it spins. And this is not the greatest example because it doesn't have a spout, but we're going to put this spout on here and keep contact of the spout to the steaming wand. Okay, that's the first thing. So if this side is my spout, I'm gonna put it up with the steaming wand and slide directly down. Okay, now I have it right at the tip of the water, or the water level, the tip on the water level. We're gonna go to the very middle there, so a half, and then when you get there, you're gonna tilt it that way about a quarter. Okay, and that just helps spin the milk. And as it begins to steam, it's gonna thicken up. So you always want like to have your hand maybe on the corner of this down here, something to brace your stability. And as it heats up, it's going to thicken up. So as it heats up, you're just gonna slide this down the steamer wand until, when you know it's ready, is when your hands are burnt, like it's too hot. You got to drop it, but don't get to the point to where it's too hot and you drop it. Get to the point where you can't stand it anymore, and then you're just going to set it down and then turn it off. And then we'll go through, after that, we'll go through how to clean that off, so that this is an important part, so that milk doesn't go back up into the pump or whatever. All right, here we go. You ready? Again, don't touch the steamer wand when you do this, okay? This is on, this light is on, meaning that you're ready to steam. So here we go. And then we're gonna twist the knob here back to us. So this way, back to you. Hand over it, back to you, and keep turning it on. We're gonna go ahead and find our position. You can touch this rubber part. All right, so I find my center, slide down, find my center, and then pivot like a quarter. And then the machine on. It's gonna look like the wand's too far in there, but you can also listen to it. And if you put too much milk in here, then it's gonna come over the side. So you wanna be careful. It's a smaller pitcher. All right, it's getting hot. I'm about to turn the machine off and drop this. That's really hot, okay? I've gotten used to my hands being that hot. That is not a great frothed milk, but it will work. It doesn't affect the taste. It just, like if you're trying to pour latte art, that's not gonna work. The reason that I know is because the bubbles. If you watch that other video that I recommend, you'll learn. All right, so the next thing you're gonna do before you pour your latte or anything is clean this machine. And I just like to get a little water in here. And I'm trying to get this all hot so that I can wipe that milk off. Okay, make sure you do it with a rag. And that's good. That just purges any milk that may be up in the stem as well. Okay. Now all we have left to do is pour it and drink it. This is a double shot vanilla latte. Again, these cups aren't made for pouring lattes, but this will taste good. There you go, your first latte. Let's give it a shot. It's good. Something satisfying about making your own anything. Making your own anything. Mowing your own grass. Building your own table. DIY. Your DIY espresso. Specifically a latte. Thanks for watching. Love God, love others. Let your work reflect that. We'll catch you on the next one.